Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to JoyNews Today. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. We're on DTT because we're free to air on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 125. We are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Coming up this afternoon, former Chief Justice Ofaye Kufu backs calls for review of the Constitution 1992, citing the inability of the National Development Planning Commission to implement its development plans. Also, limited voter registration and violent confrontation between NPP and NDC at Central Gonja EC office over alleged illegal immigrants at registration center. Plus, families and family members call on Interior and National Security Ministers to commence investigation on gruesome murder of 3 innocent young men at Tuna and Nahari. We're also live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter at JoyNews on TV. My personal handle is at Denana Aisha. Please stay for details. Many thanks for choosing us. And now to our first story. There have been violent confrontations between officials of the ruling NPP and the NDC over some alleged illegal immigrants at the Central Gonja Electoral Commission's offices at Buipe in the Savannah region. The presence of some alleged immigrants has led to a hold-up of the registration, leaving applicants waiting in long queues. The Yape Kosogo constituency secretary of the NPP, Mahfouz Ibrahim Sapo, in an interview with JoyNews, accused the NDC of taking the said immigrants into hiding during the combined immigration and military screening exercise to weed out the potential illegal immigrants from the region. But the Yape Kosogo constituency, Mahama Fuseni, refuted the accusation, describing it was baseless. According to him, the NPP should do the needful by using the constitution, stop using immigration officers to intimidate applicants. The NPP constituency secretary, however, alleged that about 150 strange-looking faces, whom he said where Burkina-Faso and Togo nationals were first spotted in the constituency 3 months ago at Fufoso and Lato, both suburbs of the constituency. Hence, the party's protest to prevent anybody taking an undue advantage of the situation. Let's go to Isaac Nonja. He's our man following this for us. Isaac, we're hearing of a hold-up of the registration exercise in the Central Gonja EC office. Can you confirm this and what's causing this hold-up?
Yes, Aisha, it's true. The hold-up is true. And it basically has to do with the alleged immigrants of Burkina and Togo who are here. And then this allegation being leveled by the NPP Constituency Secretary, and which is being protected by the NDC. He says that these people the party was aware of them when they entered the constituency. But we really know their whereabouts when the immigration and the military officers went out to do the screening to weed such people out of the system. But once they're here, they wouldn't allow them to register. But NDC think otherwise. They said enough. Allowed them to go through the process by the CI, which you can protect legally to register your displeasure. But to say they are not Ghanaian and they cannot register is something that they will not agree. So it ended up 2 of them exchanging blows, and then in the midst of all that. So the police was brought in briefly and then withdrew. As we speak, the immigration officers who came early in the morning are still here, while the alleged illegal immigrants are still here. Many of them are women. The few men who are more than are between 30 and their late 40s. They're also here in the queue to try to register. I just spoke with the NDC regional secretary, the person of Charlotte, who said that these people are right there Ghanaians, just that they were giving birth to them at somewhere Bumpurugu in the northeast region. So if they relocate here to register, they should be allowed to register and the necessary protocols should be accorded to them.
Isaac Nonya, we are also hearing that there is the presence of immigration officers at the center. I mean, is this true? And if they are still there, what exactly are they doing at the center?
It is true the immigration officers are here. Close to 10 of them are here well armed. But we are told they got a wing of the presence of these alleged immigrants here. And they tried to come and ascertain whether the allegation is true. So when they came, they actually saw them, some with Burkinabe's dresses, some Togo. We spotted one of them on this Alassane Ouattara. We saw another one Burkinabe t-shirt. And we saw them with the marks, allegations that the NPP is leveling, that based on what they have seen on these people, and then the fact that they were in there, people monitored them from Fufusi and Lato. These are suburbs of the constituency. But still, if they are coming here, they didn't know their whereabouts. So the NDC think they're fine. If this is the case, the allegation you are leveling, bring your identification, bring your proof that these people are not Ghanaians. Anything short of that, you should allow them to go through the process, and then you also go through the protocol to protect.
We can now listen to the Yape Kosogo Constituency Secretary of the NPP, who is making the allegations.
They go through the process. Probably if the screening, the immigration service have been prevented from doing their job, when the registration begins, we will challenge every single one of them. We will challenge every single one of them to prevent the register from being bloated and to give somebody undue advantage before elections begin. So we will challenge every single one of these immigrants that are seated here. Over 120 of them are in the queue. We will challenge every single one of them. We will use the due process to challenge every single one of these people to prevent them from getting onto the register.
Thank you.
Listen to the Yape Kosogo Constituency Secretary of the NDC responding to this.
Our registrars. We don't have NDC here, we don't have Fulani man here. They are all eligible voters as far as the law is concerned. But the CI 126 has been amended, stated clearly that you can challenge somebody's eligibility as a voter if you prove beyond every reasonable doubt by filling a challenge form. But by face, by identity, you can't say the person is not qualified to vote. And my position is that I want to stand on that CI 126 to actually protect everyone registrant here. All what happened was that we're there when NPP, people, the secretary, the chairman of the Yape Kosogo constituency came with immigration service department, well armed. And they want to intimidate voters. They want to intimidate registers. Those who are ready to register in the center, and I said, no way. They don't have any legal authority, jurisdiction to trespass every point and come to the registration center because we have a review committee set by the District Election Commission. They are the only people mandated to come and sit on an issue of ineligibility or some whoever is qualified to vote.
Let's now turn our attention to the Ashanti region, where some applicants in the limited voter registration exercise in Asokori Mampong have had to pass the night at registration centers. They resulted to the early arrival after days of failing to complete registration. The applicants have had to complete with political party agents who use stones and other objects seats in queuing for their prospective electorates. Nana Ojima was at the Electoral Commission's office to observe the hassle of the applicants. He joins us live via phone with more. Nana, what more can you tell us about this registration exercise in the Ashanti region?
So often there have been misunderstandings between these applicants and also party agents. The issue is that sometimes the party agents try to use their influence to skip the queues, and some of the applicants who came on their own are not happy about the situation. What is happening now is that some party officers, due to the long queues in these areas, they gather their own people and send people to the grounds at dawn. Sometimes as early as 3 a.m. they send representatives to the grounds, and with stones and benches, they try to use these things to queue, so that whoever comes will come and join the queue. But unfortunately, some of the people who come on their own are not happy, because they believe that if they have come to the areas, the registration point at dawn, they'll have to be given the priority to be in the queue. So we cannot use stones and benches as representation for people who are not there. So it's the confrontation upon confrontation, chaos normally breaks out because of the situation that is happening at the Ascribe on registration center for the EC limited voter exercise.
You heard then Nana Ojima with some updates from the Ashanti region on the limited voter registration. Away from that, a joint NATMO Navy rescue team has resumed a search for 4 fishermen said to be missing in the Adan estuary after their canoe capsized due to strong winds at sea. It's been almost 24 hours since the 2 canoes carrying 19 fishes went down whilst at sea. Adan is director of NATMO, Ebenezer Nate, tells JoyNews that there's been some rescue mission. We can now speak with our correspondent, Kwame Yanka, who says that 15 of the fishes are out of danger. And he joins me live with more. Kwame, how far with this search? Any progress? Hello, Kwame Yanka.
Yes, Aisha, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so like you said earlier, by close of day yesterday, 15 of these fishermen who were in trouble had been rescued. But then the remaining 4 are yet to be found. So today happens to be the second day for the search. A team made up of NADMO and then Navy. And even some fishers are joining in the search to make sure that their brothers also brought back to safety. So as I speak to you, the number still remains 15. The 4 are yet to be found. That's what I can report at the moment.
Earlier, you spoke with one of the captains who was part of the rescue mission. What did he tell you?
So Aisha, Gabriel Kwame, that's his name. He's the captain to one of the fishing boats. Well, he said when the incident happened, he realized that some of his colleagues or occupants of that of the boat could not swim. So what he had to do was that he had to get some ropes around, tie 2 of them to his waist, and then ensure that those within the team that could swim do same to ensure that all 11 occupants of that boat could find safety, if I can put it that way. Unfortunately for them, one of them, they were 11, only 10 could make it to safety, and the other one couldn't. So he, together with 3 others in the other boat with the inscription Barcelona, are yet to be found, making the number 4. So like I said, today happens to be the second day, and no news on the search. It's available to us at the moment, but then we still have our ears to the ground, and we are more or less coordinating or collaborating with the with the search team, and we surely update our viewers and as the day progresses.
Correspondent Kwame Yanka bringing us updates on that. We'll definitely bring you more as and when we get it. Now, former Chief Justice Ofoe Akufo is backing calls for the review of the 1992 Constitution. According to her, the Constitution in its current state does not give the National Development Planning Commission the authority to implement development programs. The reason the Commission only plays an advisory role to the government. Speaking at a Constitution Review seminar organized by the Institute of Economic Affairs here in Accra, Ofoe Akufo insisted the amendment of the Constitution 1992 will help institutions like the NDPC to foster development.
Some very substantial changes that we're going to have to propose, that because they are necessary to be made in the Constitution concerning the role, the function, the working, the processes, and the output of the NDPC. You don't set up an institution like the NDPC and then you cover it under a bushel, and its output does not necessarily reflect in the nation present and future. Planning, you normally plan not for today, you plan for the future, and you can plan even for 50 years, and you review as you go on. But the whole process has to be properly structured so that there's a particular way of making changes rather than by way of manifestos.
Director General of the National Development Planning Commission, Dr. Kojo Mensah Brampa, corroborating the stance, admitted Ghana's underdevelopment is partly attributed to the many conflicting statutes in the country.
In that study, we've looked at a lot of our policies, and you'll be surprised that many of them are conflicting. Many of them are competing. And many of them are not complementary to each other. And it's not only this year or the last 5 years, right from independence. That's what we've been doing. Sometimes we come out with a new policy and even a new statute, and the older one is still there. And so somebody will quote that to support a case, another person will quote the new one, and all that. And it's all around us. Our decentralization process is the same. What we have in the Local Government Act, the 936, you go to the individual sector act, they also have different things there. So they don't meet. The local government say we are decentralizing. Education says no, in my act it's not there. Health says no, in our act it's not there. So how can you decentralize?
Families of the 3 young men who were alleged to have been apprehended and later gruesomely murdered by personnel of the Police Intelligence Directorate have appealed to the Interior and National Security Ministers to commence investigations into the mystery surrounding the death of the young men. The trio, Jima Kocho, 28, his sibling Hadi Salifu, 24, and Abdul Habib, 30, were apprehended at their homes during the wee hours of December 1, 2022 by gun-wielding men at Tuna and Nahari in the Savannah region. Spokesperson for the families, Detective Chief Inspector Adam Yahaya, retired, says the perpetrators must be brought to face justice. JoyNews' Rafiq Salam traveled to Tuna, where 2 of the deceased were buried.
Tuna and Nahari are mourning. The 2 communities are a few kilometers away from each other, and both located in the Solo Tuna Calva district of the Savannah region. The people are grieving over the loss of 3 young men who are between the ages of 24 and 30 and were allegedly gruesomely murdered by armed and wounded personnel from the Police Intelligence Directorate of the Ghana Police Service almost 10 months ago. The grief echoes the whole Tuna community. The loss is profound, and 1 generation of a family is wiped out.
But if somebody is arrested to be a criminal, he has to follow the due process. Maybe go to a police station, go to court, and the court will see to pass judgment. If he'll be in prison, he'll be in prison. But to go and kill him, now that we are seated, we don't know why they were killed.
When they went to deposit them at the police mortuary, they recorded in the mortuary book as unidentified suspects. Unidentified means you don't know their identity, you don't know their names. Somebody you claim has confessed to a crime, you don't know the name. Is it possible?
The incident occurred during the wee hours of the morning when the trio, Jim Okocho, 28, his sibling, Hadi Salifu, 24, and Abu Habibu, 30, were apprehended at their homes and later allegedly shot dead by plainclothes PID personnel.
This is actually the house of Jima Okocho, who was lying here on the dead of the night with his pregnant wife. And so when the personnel came around, they tried to open the door, and the door was not opening. So they forcibly opened it, went inside the house, just handpicked him, brought him out.
Detective Chief Inspector Adam Zahir retired is a direct uncle to Jim Okocho and Hadi Salifu, and he speaks for the family.
For about 3-4 days, we are not getting any information. Then, due to the report of the FM, the youth were becoming agitated. So, upon intelligence, the regional police commander came to Tona on the 9th of December and met the chiefs and the people in the palace and assured them that Jima, Hadi, and all the people arrested are in safe hands in Accra.
After several days of not having any information about their whereabouts, he led some members of the family to the PID headquarters in Accra, but to no avail. They then chose to pursue the matter at the law court, who the police taken out and later held a meeting to address their concern.
It was there and then Yehunu informed us that they never knew that we were in search of those 3 people. And that is why they didn't respond until they got the suit, before they got to know that it is those people they arrested and killed in Swala that we're looking for. Shockingly, he told us that day in question, Mr. Yohunu, that the PID on their return to Accra went with 7 dead bodies. 7 dead bodies from Savannah region. So, if you are ready, they've made arrangements at the police mortuary. We should go there and identify whether the 3 people we are looking for are among the 7 dead bodies. How?
Their morbid curiosity was satisfied in the end, but on the altar of the faces, they struggled to identify.
When I went to extend them on, in April at the mortuary, I couldn't even identify them because all their faces were covered with blood. So I have to ask one of the mortuarymen because I was suspecting I saw Jim Okocho, but I was finding it difficult to identify him because the whole face was off.
The bodies of the 3 young men were finally released to the families for burial.
And so the family at the moment, they are grieving. And then also you can see that the situation here is not all that the best. It's of a somber mood, a lot of tear eyes, and seated straight or in front of her door is the mother of 2 of the personalities that we are talking about.
The only children I have on earth, and they have been killed. I would like to appeal to the government to punish all those that are part of this dastardly act so that it won't repeat itself again.
The families of Jim Okocho and Hadi Salifu have already labeled 1st December 2022 as Black Thursday, and they want nothing but justice for these people who were allegedly shot dead.
Those who came for the operation, or all those who sanctioned the operation, I'm appealing to the Minister of Interior, Bruce Dere. I'm appealing to the Minister of National Security. I'm appealing to the Commissioner for Human Rights to come in, get these people investigated, and put them and bring them to book to serve as a deterrent.
The trio left behind 3 wives and 9 children.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam, Tona.
With more than 2 million cases of non-communicable diseases since 2020, asthma ranks third, trailing only hypertension and diabetes mellitus in Ghana. Even more concerning is 36,780 new asthma cases emerging from January to June 2023. For these sensitive individuals, worsening air quality due to vehicle emissions compounds the struggle. In our first report on air pollution's impact, we followed Ruben, an asthmatic patient, for 17 years, illustrating the grave consequences of the country's deteriorating air quality. Michael Ashali has more.
In Accra, the familiar sight of cars trapped in a gridlock is an everyday occurrence. However, an unsettling reality accompanies this urban tableau. A cloud of thick plumes of toxic fumes emanates from many of these vehicles. These harmful emissions infiltrate the lungs of millions, regardless of age, with lethal consequences that unfold over time. These vehicular emissions are a cocktail of exhaust gases such as carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxides, hydrocarbons, and particulates, sometimes too small for the eye to see. For many residents, particularly those with heightened sensitivity, this smog is gradually transforming from annoyance into a genuine menace and silently causing harm, with thousands paying the price for every breath they take. Ruben Alexander Otu knows this all too well.
It's not easy. It's a difficult moment, especially something that you can't breathe as you do so often. It's challenging breathing, especially at night when you are asleep.
Ruben, like many Ghanaians, had to board commercial public transport to their destination. From Buipe to Kolebu, Ruben boards two separate vehicles.
You encounter different kind of cars with their smoke from their exhaust pipes, very bad, and they are not the best.
The journey is far from comfortable, and with the emission of poisonous gas from the carbon-fueled engines, not even his nose mask can save him.
Protect myself from the dust in the system, the dust in the weather conditions in around here. It would help me to at least have a clean breath of air. So that's why I normally put on my nose mask, and especially when I use the trotro and stuff, people might come in with all sort of perfumes, in which might not be that best for me. I was in a private vehicle with a colleague, and there was a trotro nearby, in which they were really polluting the air with smoke. So I pleaded with my colleague to roll his glasses and on the AC so that it wouldn't be having so much effect on me. Yes, so I do experience that a lot.
Asthma is a global concern, with the World Health Organization reporting 262 million cases and 455,000 deaths in 2019. In Ghana, the impact of asthma on non-communicable diseases is striking. Since 2020, there have been 2,772,157 cases of non-communicable diseases across the country, with asthma responsible for 239,036 cases, ranking third after hypertension and diabetes. In 2021, 84,700 new asthma cases were reported, followed by 79,355 in 2022. Even more alarming, from January to June 2023 alone, 36,780 new asthma cases have emerged.
I use my inhaler almost every day. I have two different kind of inhalers that I use. I use the Ventolin. The Ventolin when my situation is becoming a bit severe, that's when I use. But my steroid, I take it every day. Every day I use it just to clear my chest.
People with asthma have to resort to their medication every day, and these medications don't come cheap.
It's quite expensive to be getting those drugs almost every time. It's until I joined the university, I used to buy myself, and you have no option than to buy because you needed it daily. It's affects the your budget.
For Reuben, nobody cares, not even the policy makers. This time, he wants something to be done about the degrading quality of air.
Regulations are not being put in place to ensure that people like myself are well protected. So you have to ensure that you give yourself the full protection as much as you can to be on the safer side. Yeah.
The challenge of air pollution is exacerbated by the scarcity of monitoring infrastructure in many areas. Even with the limited number of monitoring stations scattered across the country, the data paints a disturbing picture of deteriorating air quality. For those particularly sensitive to these changes, the air has become an unwelcome adversary rather than a source of life. For Joy News, Michael Ashale.
And over here, my name is Aisha Ibrahim. Let's take a break. When we return, we'll bring you the very latest coming from the world of business.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the business segment on Joy News Today with me, Pius Kojo Baka. Now, the State Interest and Governance Authority has indicated that it will explore diverse ways of restructuring the operations of state-owned enterprises to contribute to economic growth. According to its Executive Director General, Edward Watting, it is poised to engage various private sector players to consolidate the effort of these SOEs. He was speaking at a forum organized by the Ghana Investment Promotion Center.
There had been calls for most state-owned enterprises to be privatized to ensure efficiency in their operations due to some losses in recent times of some of these SOEs. Meanwhile, SIGA boss says the authority is bent on to reposition these state-owned enterprises in a way which enhances national development.
We believe that if we can let our public entities work, then it can create the enabling environment for our private sector to thrive and grow faster and sometimes with less investments. That's what we're seeking to do. And I think the president in his wisdom realized that the old SEC, State Enterprises Commission, even though it had all the good, had the intent, was not working, and that's why in 2019, June 2019, he passed the SIGA Act. The SIGA Act basically holds all the state interests. That's what we have. Any entity that has state interest, we are responsible for oversighting it. And our job in terms of oversighting is to make sure that these entities do work. And unfortunately, over the years, there hasn't been much compliance, and that's what we're working hard to do now, to make sure that there's accountability. And we believe that if there is proper accountability, these entities would grow.
He, however, called for a more robust public-private partnership to drive economic growth.
In the past, through no fault of theirs, a lot of these entities have been managed with what we also call the kiosk mentality. People go into these entities and they manage them as their own little operations. So you have million CD entities that until the SIGA Act was passed, most of them had never done or presented proper audited accounts or management accounts. And in fact, sometimes it's mind-boggling when you go into these entities.
According to privatization supporters, this shift from public to private management is so profound that it will produce a panoply of significant improvements, boosting efficiency and quality, remaining government activities, reducing taxes and shrinking the size of government.
James is sharing with us reports. Now, business organizations have been urged to invest in nurturing the professional growth of their employees to accelerate their career progression. According to an adjunct lecturer in public sector management at GIMPA, Wing Commander retired Sam Alute, it is imperative to empower individuals to reach their fullest potential by equipping them with the necessary tools and knowledge to excel in their careers. He spoke to Joy Business on the sidelines of the launch of Elevated Professional Consult in Accra.
In a bid to address the critical need for enhanced soft skills and professional traits in the corporate world, Elevated Professional Consult has been launched to help professionals navigate those professional hurdles. Speaking to Joy Business at the launch of the consult, adjunct lecturer in public sector management at GIMPA. Wing Commander retired Sam Alute advised employers to pay critical attention to empowering their employees with the necessary corporate etiquette and values.
Not just business etiquette, but in personal development, you need to have certain social graces, certain etiquette. It gives you a sense of belonging, because if you have to interact with businessmen and people from other cultures, they expect a certain minimum standard, what is acceptable behavior. So I think what Elevated Professional Consult is doing is a step in the right direction. I think that most corporates must take advantage of it, the executive grooming. Most times we have people who are technically good, they really know their stuff, but when it comes to interpersonal skills, conflict resolution, negotiation, they seem to be lacking, especially in the social graces. And sometimes a certain behavior can be a put-off. It can cut you off from others. So I think that what we are doing today is very,
very useful. Lead of Elevated Professional Consult, Pearl Ano, entreated professionals to be mindful of their personal grooming.
It's very important that your decorum, your mannerism, your body carriage is very on point for you to be able to move on in your career development. So what I would say to the youth, people seeking to move up their career ladder, is pay attention to the little things.
And we do know the biggest event happening live today is the JoyNews EcoBank Habitat Fair happening live at Tema, where we will bring you all that you need to know in the build industry. If you are interested in getting to know what's happening in the housing and build industry, there you have to be at Tema. We will bring you more in our subsequent bulletins, especially on the marketplace. I am Pius Kojobaka. Sports is next.
Let's do sports now on JoyNews Today with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullah. First, we take a look at the Ghana Premier League, which starts today, 2023-2024 Ghana Premier League campaign. Accra House of Oak are currently in Tamale to come up against Real Tamale United. We have the full fixtures for March Day 1 as the new season commences today. Like I mentioned, Real Tamale United will host Accra House of Oak at the Aliu Mahama Sports Stadium. And on Saturday, it is a turn of Great Olympics, welcoming new promoters, Turnover for Accra, who are making playing their first game in about 16 years. Legon City will come against Carla United. In Swartruman FC will come against Bechemi United. FC Samatex, they will play Ediana Stars. Brekum Chelsea, who play Bibiane Gold Stars. Asante Kotoko will welcome Heart of Lions. Heart of Lions, the last time they played in the Ghana Premier League was also about 8 years ago. And guess what? It was Kumasi Asante Kotoko they lost to and got relegated from the top flight. And upon their return, their first game in the top flight is against Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Dreams FC, their game is going to happen on Wednesday because later today they're coming against Kalon FC in a CAF Confederation Cup tie. And Midiama SA, defending champions of the competition, will also play Accra Lions. That game too is going to happen on Wednesday because they will also be playing a CAF Champions League game against Horoya at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium on Sunday. We hear from the assistant coach of Dreams FC, Wilfred Dormon, who has been speaking about the game against Kalon Stars later today. He says it is important that they get the right result and that their medical team has ensured that every single player is available for a tie later today.
The medical team has worked very hard to make sure we have a full house and we have our last training session on the pitch, and the team is looking very ready, very, very positive. It's a very, very big call, a very important match so far as the history of this club is concerned, and so far as Ghana football and club football is concerned. Our main objective is to make sure we make the money zone. We have managed to scale past Milo. It was a very difficult game, over 2 legs, but we still managed and knock them out. So we are looking forward to this team, FC Kalon. It's a young team, just like Dreams FC.
A young team, just like Dreams FC, and they were hoping to progress to the group stage of the CAF Confederation Cup. They will need to win that tie over 2 legs. And the Chief Executive Officer of Dreams FC, Amini Shado, says that they are yet to be told where the second leg will be taking place. But the first leg, we do know, is happening later today at the Accra Sports Stadium. Dreams FC versus Kalon Stars. So you will need to find your way to the Accra Sports Stadium to throw your weight behind the Still Believe family. Say they can fly high the flag of the country in the continental competition. This is how we wrap up sports here on Joy News Today with me, Muftau Nabila Abla. You can head on to myjoyonline.com and read some more sports stories. We appreciate your time.
You're welcome to Showbiz here on the Midday, and let's start off with the pageant show that has been giving a lot of beautiful faces in our media space. I'm talking about Miss Malaika. So Miss Malaika is on, the audition have been done, the finalists have been gotten, and they are now going through a grooming process. So before the pageant itself starts, the girls go through a grooming process, and by far they have gone through the fashion grooming, they've gone through a communication grooming, they are going through a communication grooming so that they will be able to talk well when the finale itself starts. And they've gone through some choreography too. So we are going to be seeing very beautiful dance moves from them. We're going to be seeing good, fluent, flow from them when the judges are posing them the questions. And don't forget that it is on Joy Prime, and it airs every Friday. It airs on Sundays 8 to 9 p.m. There is a repeat on Monday 3 to 4 p.m. and also a repeat on Friday 11 to 12 midday. Make sure you're not missing out, because you can follow the girls and pick out your favorite before the voting even starts. Well, let's move from the pageant show to music. And Kofi Mole, who has released a new record titled Come Close, says he loves it when he sees girls dancing and twerking to his song. He told this to Andy Dosty on Daybreak Hit in the studios of Hit 103.9 FM.
Videos of girls twerking on social media to this song.
A lot.
Now then I will catch them.
They won't come closer, you know.
But how do you feel when you see those videos? Does it really connect with the song?
Yeah, it does.
It does.
It connects with the song, the beat, the bounce, everything. They give me joy, you know. Yeah.
Hey.
I see God in creation, they do that stuff. It's beautiful stuff. Yeah.
Wow. Are you the one calling for the videos, or they're just doing them and putting them out?
Yeah, then just they do them like organically. Yeah, then just they do them. I actually went live when the song dropped. And then on live, one girl came to twerk, and then
that was it.
I think it started from that side.
So since then, twerk
24/7, and I'm loving it. They should keep it coming. Keep it coming.
So this is why I want to say, aside them, you as a person watching and see what is going on, like, how do you feel Ghanaians are receiving it?
Them to them, they love them. Like, especially my male followers. When they told them, right now, they ask me, when are you going live again? Because they watched the live ago, like I went the other time. When are you, right now, then they won't make the post them can videos. We say therapeutic. then they want more. So, yeah, we are all enjoying.
Well, it's very therapeutic when they see it. Okay, so that was Kofi Mole there telling it to Doreen Avio. And Alfred Patrick has also been talking to Doreen Avio on Daybreak Hits, which happens to be the morning show on Hit FM. And she told Avio that she was actually dismissed from UCC at level 100. And she told her why.
Went to UCC for a year.
Just a year?
Just a year. Almost like him. You know, that's a story for another day. Yes, I couldn't continue. Also,
you left yourself?
No. I couldn't continue to level 200. Yeah.
One.
They be me failing paper, really. That's the honest truth. I feel like at that time I was really young. I really wasn't paying attention to my studies. Okay. I regret that now, but that's what happened. But however, that brought me back to Accra. I went to NAFTI, and that's where it all started for me. You see, I feel like anything that happens is for a good reason. Yeah.
It's almost like
yes, simple.
So that was her reason for being dismissed from UCC, and that wraps it all up for Showbiz here on the Midday. The name is Ibrahim Bedbako. Aisha?
My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Thanks so much for watching. Log on to myjoyonline.com. There's more of the news and updates of all the developing stories. Do enjoy the rest of our programs. Yes. Hello.